Simply defining that something is something doesn't necessarily make it something. I can define Bay as a dog. It doesn't make him a dog. I could in fact have him registered with the name dog. It still isn't going to change his breed or species, though the paperwork may well attest to his dog-like capabilities and capacity. We've done much the same sort of thing, or at least the Home Office has done much the same sort of thing with Albania. So recently it's decided that a blood feud will not be valid for claiming asylum. And yet in 2012, that is exactly what government paperwork suggested was a reasonable claim. The Albanian state has taken steps to improve state protection, but in areas where canon law predominates, particularly in northern Albania, those steps do not yet provide sufficiency of protection from canon-related blood taking if an active feud exists and affects the individual claimant. Where there is an active feud affecting an individual and self-confinement is the only option, the person will normally qualify for refugee status. So in 2017, there was a Belgium investigation, and although there were the testimony was taken from a number of different people, and some of those people very firmly disagreed, there was a general conclusion that actually the blood feud problem could be dealt with by the police in Albania. But it wasn't a universal decision. Now, what the British government has now done is to take that Belgium scholarship and to conclude from that that the blood feud issue doesn't exist. It's then ramping up other stuff. It's saying, well, the trafficking is illusory and the economic migration issue is simply about illegality. But it hasn't stopped the flow of Albanian migrants into the country, into Britain. The only way to do that is to spend money and to work in the country and to make sure that there are alternative routes for visas for people who want to work with us. And actually, we want people to work with us. We have so many vacancies that need filling. So how are we to do this? There is only one solution, and that is for the Home Office to start processing its paperwork and to stop this go slow approach, because it doesn't work. And if the Home Office doesn't have enough people to staff it, well, there's plenty of Albanians who I'm sure will be only too happy and whose English is impeccable and who can indeed take up the jobs in Albania. In fact, in the Home Office, in fact, it might be a very good idea to subcontract some of those Home Office decisions to Albania. There are problems. The Albanian government has been asking for information about people in the UK. Now, should we give that information? The general approach with the Home Office is that nothing is given out. So, on the one hand, that might protect some people who might, for example, be stuck in blood feuds, but equally, it completely fails to help eradicate the problem. And we come back to the issue that the Home Office is the thing that is at fault. Now, there's a big difference between a faulty Home Office and an abusive Home Office secretary. To move from the idea that somebody has used an illegal route to come to this country, a dinghy or something, I don't think anybody who comes to this country on a dinghy will think that's a preferred option. It may be the only available option. It may be something that they've been lured into doing. It may be something that they're doing because indeed they are criminal and dodgy. But I think that group is a very small group. The bigger group are those who have been mistaken into thinking this is the only option. The problem is, in some cases, it may be the only option because the Home Office simply hasn't got its act together. We need to make it clear there are other options, not not to be constantly thumping the negative don't come. If we're going to continue to thump the negative don't come, then we need to stop teaching English. That way we can close our borders. And if we want to close our borders, we will be the worse for that.